morning. Today is October 22nd, 2024. Today is Tuesday, and welcome to the 170th iteration of Genius Take the Wheel. I am Dr. Evil Genius, and just like always, I am headed back home from the gym. So I have some things that I do want to talk to you guys about today that I'm very, very passionate about and have been passionate about for a long time. So I hope that you will take this ride with me. I am going to open these windows just a little bit, and away we go. All right, so an autopsy on today's training. I am still rehabbing the left knee tendinopathy, so I am taking it easy on my squat and leg pressing movements. I did not go above 225 in the leg press, really trying to train my legs to work properly, to apply the force in the right part of my leg, not in the wrong part of my leg. And I did some single leg work, both leg extension and leg curl. Again, I'm trying to create a better mind-muscle connection so that I will have a lower chance of experiencing the type of injury that I'm trying to rehab from. And then I did some back work after that, horizontal pull, did some flexion rows. Thank you, Dr. Mike Israel, for that. I worked on some flexion rows. I worked on some single arm machine rows, and then some single arm dumbbell rows. Kept it very simple. I kept it in the mid-range with fairly high volume as I'm coming off of the deload. I'm not going to go straight into the same amount of intensity right out of the deload. Is really not a healthy thing to do. So I'm kind of taking it easy on that. Tomorrow I hit the chest. I'm going to hit it reasonably heavy. I will not be working at my normal working weight. So instead of working at 245, I'll most likely be working at 225 tomorrow. So my quad didn't feel so great, and then it felt a little bit better. We will see if things get better on that end. Please stay tuned. I will be back to you guys on Thursday and see what happens on the lighter end of the hack squat. Okay, now getting into the title of today's video. As you've seen it, the fitness industry, the fitness community comes to the defense of Jeff Nippard. So I'll give you guys a little bit of background first. The fitness industry has a lot of different personalities in it, and everybody is trying to find a way to promote their brand in a fashion that will get the most people to buy into whatever paradigm they're selling. And by selling, I mean there's a course, there's some sort of training program, there's some sort of diet PDF, or in the unfortunate example of Greg Doucette, he has to try to plug his brand of supplements in everything that he says, whether or not plugging the supplements fits in with whatever he's talking about, or is even a morally good move to make. You know, some guy passes away from steroid abuse by his Turk builder. It's like, come on, man. You know, I don't begrudge people like wanting to make money and all of that. That's fine. But sometimes it's just like, dude, give it a fucking rest. So Jeff Nippard is what you would call a fitness influencer, but he's really much more of an exercise scientist. He has been conducting and participating in a bunch of different studies to find out which training methodologies are the most effective for the most amount of people. So he's willing to, you know, conduct experiments on his own body. He's willing to conduct experiments on people who are willing to be involved in these studies to find out, you know, the most effective and the safest ways to train. Now, Jeff Nippard is not a guy that's out here just running his mouth. Jeff Nippard is a guy that has walked the walk before he started talking the talk. This is a guy who has done a lot of studying, is extremely knowledgeable about training protocols, but he has also proved that his methodology of doing things is an effective way of doing things because he's won natural bodybuilding competitions. Obviously, he's not going to win with his physique as a guy who's not eating trembolone sandwiches. Thank you, Derek. More plates, more days for that. I got to give you your credit for that. But he has, you know, won powerlifting competitions. He's won bodybuilding competitions and has done it relatively injury-free from what I can see. Now, Jeff Nippard is a younger guy, I believe in his 20s, and he currently stands at 5'5" and about 180 pounds. That piece of information is relevant, you'll see in a bit. Jeff Nippard represents what the fitness community should be. A very methodical, intellectual, and respectful content creator and exercise scientist. He doesn't just want to make bold claims. He wants to actually prove his theories before making a lot of claims. And even when he does do so, it's very matter of fact. It's never to browbeat the listener or to insinuate that he is better than anybody. So enter in, I believe his name is Mike Van Wyck. I believe, I think the statistics that I saw is 6 feet tall and something like 300 pounds or something, 300 to 330 pounds. So you look at 5'5", 180, and like 6 foot and over 300 pounds. And we're not talking about like jelly roll 300 pounds. He might be actually 500 pounds, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about roided up. So I actually saw a video from him making fun of Jeff Nippard directly, and making fun of people that like to train in protocols that have proof behind it. And his whole thing is that, you know, you shouldn't listen to guys if they're not the biggest guys in the world, because smaller people couldn't possibly know what they're talking about because they're small, and if you're a smaller person, you couldn't possibly know how to get big. Now, that is the part of the fitness industry that a cynic like myself expects there to be, because that's what I've seen. I've seen a lot of ego. I've seen a of large physical figures, but with very, very small minds, very tiny minds. And you know, if you look at the old Planet Fitness commercials, they had, you know, the lunk alarm, and they had the roided up guy that had the 1 gallon jug of aminos or protein or whatever it was, and you know, they showed him the special area which was out the back door. That is unfortunately the stereotype of those who are fitness enthusiasts and fitness professionals, which is one of the reasons why I do this stream. I really want to help change the perception through action. Huh? No, Coheed and Cambria. It's a rock band. I guess he thought I was from somewhere else. But no, I'm not from Cambria Heights. I'm a Coheed and Cambria fan. Okay, so let me safely switch lanes here. Okay. Okay, so apparently this guy Van Wyck makes a video making fun of people for speaking as authority figures when, you know, they're not roided up, and you know, the largest guy in the room. Hold on a second. So it's a band called Coheed and Cambria. So my other car has the Coheed license plate. This one has the Cambria. Yeah, I got you. So yeah, we Mets fans are very miserable right now. Or not. We really shouldn't be miserable. We didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. That was all heart and soul that got us to the NLCS. Anyway, so you know, you expect to see a lot of ego in the gym, but I can tell you that the majority of guys in the gym are really, really nice people. I can tell you that from a wealth of experience. As a guy who is usually not respected because I'm not the largest guy in the gym, ever. I'm never the largest. I'm never going to be on roids. None of that stuff, right? I'm never going to be on roids. I'm never going to do any of those things, right? So you know, I'm the guy that there's two different types of guys in the gym with low self-esteem. There's the ones like a Mike Van Wyck or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm just gonna call him Van Douche or whatever. He's a douchebag. That's all you need to know. There are those guys who have low self-esteem and they have to lord over any kind of advantage that they believe they have over somebody else. I just talked to you guys last week about the different forms that bullying takes, right? Now, in the example that I told you about last Thursday, it was very atypical. In this particular situation with Von Douche and Jeff Nippard, it is more of the classic bully situation where somebody who has really not a whole lot to offer the world as in terms of actual value, but is really large, but doesn't have a whole lot of real self-confidence, they will try to do what he did yesterday that came out. And there's plenty of videos, there's security footage and the whole bit, okay? Now, there's the other insecure guy in the gym who's really large, is super strong, and is super nice to everybody. And those are the guys that remembers when they were small, or they were not good looking, or whatever the women wanted, or, you know, they got picked on as kids, and then to kind of keep people from picking on them, they started hitting the weights really hard, or getting on the jiu-jitsu mat, or, you know, putting on the pads for kickboxing and boxing. Now, those guys are still very nice people, and they remain so. They did not become swole or become competent in fighting modalities, in combat modalities. They didn't become good at these things so that they can harm other people. They did so that they could protect themselves and the people that they love. That's the majority of guys. Now, when you look at somebody like Jeff Nippard, who's 5'5", you can make an educated guess. You could be wrong. Hey, Talia Aarons, how you doing? Thank you so much. You're always supporting. You know, most of the guys in the fitness community are going to be just the same good people that they were. Just, you know, they kind of put on this protective cloak of large muscle, or tattoos, or thousands of hours of rolling on BJJ mats, or even some of the guys you might find at a shooting range, right? These are guys, you know, they're not proponents of the Second Amendment because they want to harm other people. They're proponents of the Second Amendment so that other people can't harm them and other people around them. There are a lot of big, strong guys that remember what it's like to not be super huge and strong, and then be treated in really abusive ways, and they don't want it to happen to themselves, and they don't want it to happen to other people because they know what it's like. So when you look at a 5'5" Jeff Nippard at 180 pounds, that is a large man for a guy that height, okay? That is you know, and when you look at him, the dude is solid as hell. Now, he doesn't have the body dysmorphia to the severity where he's trying to live super lean year round. So when you look at him, he looks a little bit puffy because he's not trying to kill himself to be at 7% body fat year round. When you look at Jeff Nippard in the video that went viral yesterday in the fitness community, fitness industry, he looks like he's somewhere between 12 and 15% body fat, which is healthy for men. It's a little bit low for women, but it's a healthy, livable body fat percentage to be at, especially if you want to improve your performance in the gym, right? You're not trying to win a bodybuilding competition right now, so you know, you're not trying to win a bodybuilding competition right now, so you know, you want to live at a comfortable pace, as you know, as far as, you know, being in a decent caloric surplus, so that you can get bigger, you can get stronger, really without torturing yourself. And it seems to be that's where Jeff Nippard is now. Now, some months ago, this Von douchebag, Mike Van Wyck, whatever, Von douche. He made some videos that seemed to be at least mildly threatening towards what he calls dorks and nerds in the fitness community. And I was like, wow, this is not a guy that I want to subscribe to. So I you know, when I saw his content on another platform, I just didn't even bother looking at his channel or subscribing to it, because I don't want to reward those kind of people in the fitness industry. Then I saw a podcast, a 4-man podcast, bodybuilding podcast. And I think because when the Olympia, which was a couple weeks ago, was going on, there were people who were doing companion live streams while it was going on. And I looked and I saw him and I clicked off of it immediately, which, that will be relevant to you very soon. So, I saw him on there, clicked off. I don't care what you have to say, because you're a douchebag. There's no information on fitness, wellness, strength and conditioning, max strength, powerlifting, bodybuilding, classic physique. There's no information that douchebag has that nobody else, and I just can't get from anybody else. So I'd rather not get it from him. So when I saw that this was the type of guy that he was, like, oh, he's one of those guys in the fitness industry next. So apparently he put out another video making fun of scientists and saying, they're all, mediocre to poor physiques, and why would you ever listen to one of those guys when they don't have any proof? All of these science-based lifters, they're basically saying that they're trash and they're not worth listening to. And he asked, he put out a rhetorical question, about why they do what they do. And so Jeff Nippard responded in the most elegant and respectful way possible. And the way that Jeff was approaching it was, well, guys who are really physically large have a lot to offer as far as knowledge. However, I like science and the science-based approach because it gives me the confidence that what I'm doing is safe and effective. And so I don't have a problem with guys that are on the larger side of the spectrum. There's no problem there. But I just take a different approach, and I don't really think that my approach is necessarily, better, but is certainly not worse. And, as far as he was concerned, oh, wow. Whoa. The sun is trying to blind me forever and ever. So, according to Jeff, he's like, smaller people have a lot to offer as far as their knowledge in the fitness industry. For instance, Chris Bumstead, who just won the Mr. Olympia for the 6th time in a row before retiring, has the best looking physique on planet Earth, but he hires a coach. Well, who is his coach? Is his coach the biggest, most roided up guy? No, but he is very, very competent, and he knows his craft, and he has now coached at least 25 Mr. Olympia titles across different competitors. So just because someone is not necessarily big doesn't mean that, they can't coach. For instance, the current Mr. Olympia in men's open bodybuilding is Samson Dauda. Do you know who his coach was? His wife. Do you think his wife is some roided up, 6 foot tall, 330 pounder? No, but she was able to coach him into winning the Olympia title, which was the point that Jeff was making. So he said, hey, I still listen to guys who are really big. They have a lot to offer. And, my way has merit as well. So I hope that answers your question. Something along those lines. Well, since they're both in Canada, apparently the douchebag, Mike Van Wyck, he enters the facility where he's supposed to be training a client. He's supposed to be teaching somebody. And he makes sure that he walks past Jeff Nippard when he saw him in the gym to bump him as he walked past. And apparently he did this more than once. So when he had something nasty to say, Jeff made sure that his cameraman kept the camera on the douchebag, because he thought that the camera would provide a buffer to where even the most unreasonable people will take a second thought when they see that somebody is filming their actions. Because if they, you want to do something stupid and people see you on camera doing the stupid thing, well, all types of liability issues come into play. Well, the guy keeps his camera on him and he walks up to Jeff and then shoves Jeff by Jeff's throat to the ground, which is a crazy dangerous thing to do. So you guys know that on TSP we cover mixed martial arts. I'm going to take you back to, I believe it was 2021, where Drakkar Klose was setting up to fight another fighter in the featherweight division. Both of these guys are in, had to weigh in at 145 pounds or 155 pounds. It was featherweight it was featherweight or the lightweight. It was featherweight or lightweight division. And to hype up the fight, because I guess there was a little bit of trash talk going on in between the two fighters. These are two fighters that train to fight, that train to be struck. When they were supposed to do the stare down, Drakkar Klose steps to do the stare down as they walk to the middle of the stage, and the other guy takes a cheap shot and then shoves him violently backwards. These are fighters. Drakkar Klose ended up with a spine injury. And these are guys that weigh the same, and these are fighters. So anytime you're messing with the cervical spine, you're really playing with fire. Now imagine if you have a 330-pound man versus a 180-pound man. That sounds pretty dangerous, right? Sounds pretty reckless, right? Now, the camera person was able to catch the assault on camera, but unfortunately he was not able to catch all of the assault on camera. Why? Because as the camera was rolling and the Von douchebag is, trying to assert his dominance on people who are half his size, because that's really brave. He assaults the cameraman and then goes back to assaulting Jeff. Now, all of this is happening when he is supposed to be providing service to his client. He's not supposed to be assaulting people on the gym floor. He is supposed to be giving the service that his client was paying for. So he took the time away from the client, stole time from the client to commit assaults on other people. And for what reason? Because he doesn't like the way they train. He doesn't like the fact that they train in with the scientific method in mind that keeps them safe while also being effective. Let me tell you guys something. I've been on this science shit pretty much my entire career as a trainer, as a coach. Okay? Shout out to Midmo Smart. Happy to catch you on right now from Starline Brass. Yeah, he's got a new job making ammunition. Maybe you'll go to the Sonoran Desert Institute as well. I hear that they sponsor a lot of gun tubers as far as like gunsmithing and learning about stuff like that. But anyway, you know, the guy didn't like the way he trains, so he feels like he has the right to assault him because he's smaller than him. And apparently, I looked at the social media following between the two of them, and the big roided up guy has 1/22nd of the following of the smaller, humble guy. And the thing is, I believe that even at 5'5", 180, if Jeff Nippard was a professional fighter, he wouldn't have pulled that. If Jeff Nippard was 6 feet tall and 250, he wouldn't have pulled that. If Jeff Nippard was exactly his size or even bigger, he wouldn't have pulled that. And the reason I know that is because, shout out to Greg Doucette, credit where credit is due. I still support his platform, even though his shilling really pisses me off. Greg Doucette showed evidence that when somebody even close to Mike Van Douchebag, anywhere near close to his size, he's not trying to grab the big guy's throat. No, he's not doing that. He's got a lot more sense, which is why I saw a bunch of people on social media saying, oh, roid rage. Roid rage would pop off against anybody. Cowardice would pop off against somebody half your size. And the best part about this, guys, is that my cynical mind assumed that the fitness industry was going to make fun of Jeff for being punked, for getting punked. Kind of like how part of the black community tried to make fun of Chris Rock because while he was hosting the White People Awards, he decided to have some decorum when Will Smith wanted to start a nigga moment. And he said, no, we're not going to do that at the Oscars because we have some goddamn sense. Good morning, Catherine Anna Hauserman. How are you doing this morning? And the fitness community surprised me. A pleasant surprise. They came to the defense of Jeff Nippard. People were aghast at what they saw in that video. I didn't see anybody, oh, Jeff, you got shoved on the floor. Oh, you're a bitch. I didn't see none of that. The worst thing I saw is from some guy named Fuad, who also is on that podcast with the douchebag, talking about, oh, you guys always complain about cancel culture and y'all want me to get him off the podcast. No, he's my friend. I'm going to back him up no matter what he does. And then the first thought that comes to my mind is, oh, if he assaults a woman, you're going to keep him on the podcast? He diddles some children. You're going to keep him on the podcast because that's your friend? You don't care what he does. So we're not going to judge people on their actions, right? We're not going to judge people on what they do anymore. Sounds like a lot of these delusional modern women, and you're supposed to be an authority on the men's side when it comes to health and fitness and bodybuilding. Get out of here. Oh, I got a whole bunch of messages from people saying that I should get them off the podcast, stop messaging me. Well, you know what I hope they do? I hope they unfollow your fucking podcast. I hope if your podcast gets 15,000 views, you end up with 3,000. That's what I hope happens. Because if you are going to back up a bully who looks and acts like a psychopath, then what knowledge do you have as a fitness professional that somebody can't get from someone who's not a douchebag? And again, I am not a proponent of cancel culture. I hate bullies more. Cancel culture is bullying. But if you are going to and the thing is, the apparatuses that this guy was shoving people into or barely missing could have, the apparatus that Jeff Nippard almost fell into, had that hit him in the back, could have paralyzed him from the waist down. He's shoving people in the machines. And gyms are potentially very dangerous places to be, which is why they tell you should wear closed-toe shoes, and we don't allow children under a certain age on the gym floor. It can be a very dangerous place. Believe me, I've had a lot of injuries in the gym just from dropping stuff on my hands and feet. There's a lot of heavy metal around and pieces of iron that sticks out and juts out of certain places. And you're shoving people in the machines and shoving them on the floor. Man, listen. You want to protect a coward, you want to back up a coward and all of that, you're fine to do that, but we don't have to support you either. Cancel culture is saying that your podcast can't be on the air anymore. No, your podcast should stay on the air, but nobody is required to watch it. There are plenty of guys in the fitness space, in the bodybuilding space, that we can get information from. As annoying as Greg Doucette is, I would rather listen to him hawk his fucking Turk builder for the 117,000th time than to hear anything you have to say. To hear anything that fucking huge fucking coward has to say. I would rather listen to Jeff Nippard, who is half that man's size, and get information from him than from some guy who's looking to, look, I'm bigger than you and I can shove you on the floor. Ha ha ha. Now, we don't need people like that in the fitness community. We already get a poor reputation. People assume that we're pompous, that we are arrogant, and that personal trainers are always trying to have sex with people's wives. They say we're all vain, and we're all we all have small dick energy, and we only got big muscles because our dicks are small, and all these negative things, all of these negative things. And then you're gonna come out here while there are thousands of people, men and women alike, working hard to repair the public image of the fitness industry and those within it. And you want to go out there and reinforce the stereotype to further hijack our public image. No, fuck you. Mike Van Douchebag, Van Wick, whatever the fuck your name is, fuck you. Because you're making everybody's life harder to live. Fuck you. I hate bullies. I don't care what kind of bully it is. I don't care if you're some fucking weirdo, 400 pounds of muscle. I don't care if you're some 5'2" super mega feminist. If you're a bully, I can't stand you. And I'm going to speak up on it every fucking time. So that Fuad dude, you could do whatever it is you want with your podcast. I won't be watching. How about that? And shout out to the fitness community, man. I watched Nick Strength and Power, another really nice guy who knows his stuff. Derek from More Plates, More Day. Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Super nice guy. Great information. Johnny Shreve. Super nice guy. Great information. Eric Janicki. Super nice guy. Great information. What the fuck do we need Mike Van Wyck for? We don't need him in the industry. I've met so many great guys on the amateur circuit in bodybuilding, on the pro circuit in bodybuilding. Man, I remember when I got my first fitness job. Back, it was like 2011, 2012. I saw this massive mountain of a man on the stair stepper. I walked right up to him, and he was gracious and he was kind. Do you know who he was? It was Kai Green, who once placed second. He was the runner-up to Mr. Olympia, one of the greatest bodybuilders in the world. And here I am at 6'3", 145 pounds at the time. And for reference, I'm 195 pounds right now. I was soaking wet, 145, and he treated me with respect. One of the top bodybuilders in the world. But this Mike Van Wyck douchebag, who hasn't accomplished anything, he gets to shove people on the floor because he doesn't like the way they train. Fuck you. And fuck Fuad too for fucking supporting that bullshit. Fuck that. I hate bullies. And even though I think this dude is a little self-righteous, Joey Swole, from all accounts, really nice guy. Great information. Doesn't suffer bullies, male or female. He's calling you out. I watched Nick Strength and Power's video, and he's scrolling through social media, and people are not only lighting up this douchebag on Jeff's account, they're lighting up this douchebag on Mike's account. They're lighting him up. I could not be more proud to be part of this version of the fitness community, because right when I thought, just when I was just losing a little bit of faith, just a little bit, everybody is like, nope. Nope, we don't abide by that. Nope. 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 Proud of the fitness industry. I'm proud of all the people I saw on Narcigram that basically just like, the dude got ratioed straight to hell. He got ratioed straight to hell. And again, I don't think that followers are everything, but just for the context, so that you understand exactly where I'm coming from. And this gives me a little bit more faith in the world overall, because it gives me a slightly different perspective. The dude with the biggest muscles has 1/22nd of the following of Jeff Nippard. The dude has something like 300,000 followers on Narcigram. And Jeff Nippard's got over 100,000 like reacts to his post. Jeff Nippard has almost 6 million subscribers on YouTube. He's got 20 times your following because people don't care about who the biggest guy is. They don't care about the guy that does the most fucking steroids. They care about the guy that can give them useful information in a way that they can understand it. So they can take that information and better themselves with it. Not shove people on the floor for no reason for it. That's why Jeff Nippard is more popular than you, Mike Van Wyck, whatever the fuck your name is. That's why people like him and people don't like you. You're the reason people don't like you. Not the fucking, the science-based lifters. Oh my God, I could be so much more popular if they weren't using the scientific method. No, you're not a likable person. Obviously, what you're doing works because you got an excellent physique at 6 feet tall. But less people want to get information from you because they don't like you. How about you become a better human being? And maybe you wouldn't be getting kicked out of the gym that you train your clients in. Just a thought. Because once the gym saw all the footage and the security footage, they said, yo, finish with your client and get the fuck out. Good morning, Jane. Good to see you again. We don't suffer bullies. We don't suffer bullies. We don't rock with that. We don't rock with bullies. Fuck bullies. Fuck what bullies stand for. And I told you guys 2 streams ago, last Thursday, you must confront bullies wherever they are. And it should not matter how big they are. It shouldn't matter how small they are. If they're trying to bully you, you stand up to them. And shout out for Jeff Nippard for standing up for himself. And I hope that footage gets used in the criminal investigation that should be starting up. Let me get to some of these comments. Catherine Anna Hauserman, she watches Greg Doucette's videos. That's interesting. And the thing is, Greg's got good information. And maybe I got it all wrong. Maybe he needs to make sure that everybody knows about, Sorry, I'm getting disconnected over here. Maybe I should do it the way Greg Doucette is doing it. Maybe I could get more of you to hit the like button and subscribe if I start hawking supplements every 5 seconds. I'm not going to do that, but I'm being facetious. But, I just want you guys, I want you guys to know that what I saw from the fitness industry in response to douchebaggery, I was very, very proud. I didn't see your normal, the trolls in the comments trying to make fun of Jeff for getting picked on. No, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see a single comment making fun of Jeff for getting picked on by somebody twice his size. Everybody came to his defense. So shout out to the fitness industry. That was some clutch ass shit, yo. And I do think that there's a lot that we could still do to rehab our public image. When it comes to the stereotypes, I almost said steroids, the steroidiotypes. I'm going to make that a word, the steroideotypes, because that's what he was reinforcing. The douchebag. He was reinforcing the steroideotypes. I like that. I'm going to make that a thing. You watch. The pec deck, the chest fly machine, I'm going to make you guys start calling it the titty clapper. For real. The motor boater. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make that a thing. Watch. Let's see some more of these comments here. Sir Fernando, the Fondue King. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. I know you're working hard out there. Talk to him. A lot of people need to hear it. Hey, man. I'm just saying what needs to be said, no matter how many people watch or don't watch. Catherine Anna Hauserman says, at some point, you just got to start, and along the way, you learn. Yeah. And, you know, with Jeff Nippard, I rely very heavily on a lot of his information from time to time. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but I do watch his videos as far as, you know, because like a lot of fitness professionals, when they go on YouTube, they like to create these tier list videos. Tier list videos are very popular on YouTube, just in general. But you know, you have your F tier and your D, and your C tier and your B tier, your A tier, your S tier stuff. Well, just the other day, I watched a video from Jeff talking about the best the best ways to attack the biceps. And the reason why I liked this video even more than maybe even Eric Janicki or even Dr. Mike Israetel is the way that he explains exactly why he puts them on different tiers. As far as, you know, he kind of shows you how there are different actions that the muscle will take when your joints are in certain positions. Like, so if, for example, you know, if your arms are down, your biceps are going to be stressed out in certain ways and not stressed out in other ways, depending on the positioning of your humerus. So he even kind of snuck in some stuff there where he was talking about the stuff that he really couldn't put on the tier, but he was actively experimenting with to see if these movements would be more efficacious, either when it comes to the lengthened position or trying to get the best peak, right? So I did disagree with him on one of his movements that he poo-pooed a little bit, that he put in a lower tier. But I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I understand his analytical and scientific mind, and I just love the way he put that video together. This is one of the reasons why he is one of the most popular and respected fitness guys out there, because not only is he out there giving out information based on science, but he's put it to the test, and he has won bodybuilding and powerlifting competitions as a natural bodybuilder. So, you know, everybody starts somewhere. You could do a lot worse than starting with Jeff Nippard. Trust me, you could do a lot worse. Next comment up. Obviously, good morning, Jane. Sir Fernando, the Fondue King. Greg's supplements are so annoying. He's kind of funny, but the self-promo is too much. Brother, I agree with you. There is one asterisk to that where I'm forced to give Greg some credit. He had a falling out with his fellow Canadian, Joni Shreve, where they were like actually beefing online. They used to be friends, not friends anymore, the whole bit. And shout out to Johnny Shreve as well. Again, the right kind of mindset to have. Even though he was no longer really friendly with Greg Doucette, he actually wanted to know whether Greg's claims when it came to the supplement, the Turk Builder supplement, he wanted to actually know if it was a legitimate supplement to use. So what he did was he put the ridiculousness to the side. He calls up Greg Doucette and he says, "Hey, I'm hearing that turkesterone is bullshit. What's the deal with this? Why are you hawking it?" And Greg says, the turkesterone that they're getting is a different form of turkesterone from China, but I'm getting turkesterone from Uzbekistan, and its chemical properties are different, and so when you use my Turk Builder, it's going to be a legit product, and everybody else's is no good. So Johnny Shreve was like, "All right, I want to know. Send me some of what you have." And Johnny Shreve showed his blood work. He showed where he was, strength levels, size wise, before, and now he's using the supplement now. And by all accounts, as far as from the beginning, obviously you have to honor the possibility of the placebo effect, which is real. It actually looks like that Greg is not selling bullshit. It looks like he's selling a legitimate product that, if it is truly legitimate the way he says it, and it doesn't like artificially increase testosterone levels or what have you, it may end up remaining unbanned by WADA, and he might actually have something real in his hands. Could be real. So from what I've heard, I've never heard of anybody who has used a Greg Doucette product and felt like they were scammed. So that's why I'm saying, like, him pushing the products, like, dude, we know about your harder than last time supplements and all of that. We get it. Guy, okay. We got it. Mrs. Evil is here. I suspect she was here the whole time, but driving safely. But yeah, I'm just really, really proud of the fitness community on Narsagram, the way that they came to, the way that they came to Jeff's defense. That definitely was a warm and fuzzy feeling that I got, that kind of broke through a lot of the anger that I was feeling. Because, man, I just hate bullies, man. I just hate them. So I've been on here an hour raging. So I'm gonna go home and try to eat some eggs. Because that's what I do every day. I eat these goddamn eggs. And then later on, I have my protein shake, and then my appetite's ruined, so I skipped dinner, and now I still stuck at 195 pounds. I can't force myself, and obviously Greg will say, take MK677, it'll help you produce more ghrelin, huh? I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, Sir Fernando. I just hate bullies, man. I hate them. I hate them so much. And I wanted to, to talk to you guys about that today. Obviously, you guys can, let me know if you're part of the replay gang later on. Definitely let me know what you think of this, especially if anybody, who knows about this situation stumbles on the channel. I definitely want your thoughts and opinions on all of this, Just to recap, this is an extension of my leg deload. This is the second week of leg deload, as I am working to... Oh, Dr. Mike Israetel just dropped a video about roid rage being real. And I've had my bone to pick with Dr. Mike Israetel as well, because I'm a massive fan of his, and the way that he's gone at Greg Doucette, again, bully vibes, and I don't like it. And I'm a huge Mike Israetel fan, huge supporter. I'm not just subscribed to Renaissance Periodization, I'm also a member of that channel. So I keep that same energy across the board. Like, Mike needs to chill out. But he's been very transparent about the effects of anabolic steroids on his psyche, and I hope that he can make amends and be a little bit more chill. Although Greg has been taking the piss on it, he's making fun of Mike Israetel every video. He needs to chill too, but my point still stands, right? Renaissance Periodization just at this very moment just dropped the video for members only about how roid rage is real. And I'm going to go home and watch that shit. All right? So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to me already, please do so. I'm not going to beg, but I'd like you to do so. I will not hawk supplements. I will review supplements, but I won't hawk them. Not unless I'm, getting paid. And then, sorry. I gotta pay bills. But please support the platform. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this as part of the replay gang. What you think of this whole situation with Jeff Nippard. And recap. This is my the first time I'm doing a 2-week deload for my legs as I continue to rehab the quad tendinosis that I've been dealing with. That's really at the top of my left knee, and trying to rehab that. I'm starting to get into medium towards high intensity on the upper body again after the deload. You don't want to go at the same intensity you were before the deload. Your body's not likely to be ready for it, so you need to kind of ramp up. So I'm in this little ramp up phase. So tomorrow I'll probably try to hit a nice easy 225 bench, and then the next week try to and then 225 on the incline Smith machine, 225 on the free bar barbell bench press, and then the following week try to get up 235, 245, 250, as I am looking to continue to raise my strength ceiling, so that once I'm satisfied with that, I can raise my hypertrophy ceiling and grow more muscle. So if you guys want more tips and tricks on improving your physique, even after age 40, this is a place that you can come to and ask your questions. The Talking Shit podcast, you can also ask questions as well. So I would love it if you guys would support me over there as well. And as always, I support every single one of you. If you believe yourself to be strong, you've earned the right to do so. I'm rooting for you. I'm rocking with you. Take care. See you on Thursday.